What's unfolding here? Good, bad, or neutral? And then the hard part is not reacting. Noticing, allowing, gently investigating with curiosity, without judgment. You might bring movement, gentle movement, back into your form. You could softly open your eyes. The goal is to follow the breath, that's all. Up and down the central channel of the body. We all know about the invisible energy wheels. We've been working on that. From the base of the spine to the crown of the head. Throughout the whole class, the attention, our attention, comes back to the breath, to the central channel, and the energy goes where our attention goes. Deep concentration throughout, connecting breath to movement, visualizing that. Think about the heads of your shoulders. Start your inhale, shoulders rise up and roll back and down on the exhale. Keep going. The Ujjayi breath might help slow us down, as if we were fogging a mirror or whispering ah on the exhale. The back of the throat tightens and the vibration there. The Ujjayi or ocean sound there signals the mind body, it's okay to let go. The next time the shoulders are back and down, you'll leave them there. Rest your hands, lift the collarbones. Exhale, chin over one shoulder. Inhale, chin through center. Chin over opposite shoulder. Keep going. Inhaling through center. Exhale, chin over shoulder. We're warming up from the top down. We're right at the cervical center, throat chakra. Maybe you imagine a bright sky blue color. Couple more times here. We hold a lot of tension in the neck, shoulders. Where our attention goes, the energy flows. We're practicing balancing positive and negative. Come back to neutral when you feel balanced with the movement. And then inhale, arms float up, shoulder height. Exhale, palms together right at the heart center. Take any adjustments. If you're sitting high up on a pillow, you could roll off of it. If you're on a chair, come forward at the chair for the circle of joy. Heart center, heart chakra. Inhale, clasp. Exhale, tuck and stretch the arms forward. Inhale, rock forward, palms away, stretching fingers. Arms are an extension of the heart chakra. Exhale, float the arms down and behind, clasping or holding a strap or one thumb as you inhale, expanding the chest. Exhale, right back to the heart center. Inhale, clasp. Exhale. The heart chakra, you might think or feel or imagine in the middle of your shoulder blades right now. Inhale. So from the front of the chest, all the way around to the back. The heart chakra spiraling around the structural spine. Imagine bright green, emerald green. Keep going with the circle of joy, focusing on the heart chakra. The arms, the hands, an extension of the heart center. Two more times. Inhale. If you need to exhale through a little circle in the mouth, you will. If you can tap into the ujjayi or ocean sound, the lips are closed. You pretend to whisper ah. Sometimes the vibration even comes on the inhale. Once more. So no need to rush. You can massage your knees if you were sitting cross-legged. We're going to roll down to the supine position, and we'll do the knees to the chest and a gentle twist and nose to knee. If you feel like staying on the chair, you can do all these things from the chair. I'm going to demonstrate on the floor. So you'll roll down slowly and you'll have a strap near you, just in case you need it or want it. Knees to the chest. You could rock a little, straightening, bending the knees. If you're on a chair, you lean forward. So now we're coming to warm up the lumbar and sacral chakras. Wherever you are, bring your attention, your deep concentration to the sacral, lumbar area, lower back. Yep. If you're sitting in a chair, you squeeze the knees, squeeze the ankles. We do the same on the floor. Arms out to the side or at an A-line. We're coming into a twist. Take a big breath in, squeeze the knees, pull the belly in, and bring the knees to one side. And then up and over towards the other side without even touching the ground. You might not go far at all. It depends on the strength of your core. It doesn't matter how far you go. What matters is your deep concentration at the lumbar and sacral chakras. Opposite the belly button, the lumbar. A little bit lower, the sacrum, the big round bone. Back and forth. If you're in a chair, you're sitting tall and you're just gently twisting side to side. Bringing the knees back to center and holding one knee close to the chest. You can use a strap here. Take a big breath in, push the belly down, pop the head up, nose towards knee. If you're in a chair, knee comes up towards the nose. 3 to 5 times on this same side. Deep concentration at the lower chakras, the lumbar and sacrum. It's called nose to knee, but most of us don't get there, and we will get there maybe someday. However, if the intention is pure, nose to knee, you feel the electricity between the tip of the nose and the knee. The belly is pressing. Next time the head comes down, both knees to the chest. That organizes the hips, and then just bring the opposite knee up and in, tuck the shoulders down. They always want to hike up. Press the belly before you pop the nose up. If you feel like you're pulling on your neck, you could bring one hand behind the skull. Belly is pressing, doing all the work. It doesn't matter how much you lift the upper shoulders, how close the knee comes to the nose. What matters is that you have deep concentration at the lumbar and sacral chakra. Where the attention goes, the energy flows. Next time the head is down, you leave it here. You could rock a bit, side to side. Head goes one way, knees go the other. We weren't supposed to be using the neck, but everything sometimes gets involved. We're a competitive species, us humans. We even compete with ourselves. Roll it to one side or the other. Doesn't matter which. If you choose to stay on a chair, you will. Table. In the chair, you're going to flex the spine in cats and cows, if you prefer. If your wrists ever hurt on the floor, you can elevate the heels of your hands on the edge of a pillow or a rolled mat. Something like this. Now our attention goes to the first chakra, the root. The tailbone curls up. We're a cow in the field. Shoulders are broad. When you exhale next, tuck the tail. Think about the root chakra. Your attention is right there for both the arch, cow in the field, and the hunch, angry Halloween cat. Keep returning to the root chakra. Back and forth. Keep coming back. Originate all movement from the very first chakra. All movement. A few more times. You'll notice when you get pulled away by a feeling, a thought, just keep coming back to the breath. Let the movement follow the breath. Usually exhaling in the cat posture, tailbone tucks. Then the tailbone curls up For cow, usually inhaling. The next time the tail is tucked, you'll bring your hips as far back as comfortable for you, resting. Child pose. If you're in a chair, you'll just lean forward over your folded legs. Take your time here. Rest your forehead. Rest your lower chakras. Rest, completely rest. Keep coming back to the central channel. From the tailbone to the spiritual eye. What is your intention for today? We warmed up the major chakras already. Maybe one word pops up for you. Returning to the breath, returning to the central channel, and at your own pace, you'll bring yourself through a low squat or a modified squat. Take your time here. Move any props to the side. You can let your head hang if that feels good to you. Legs could be bent or straight. Look at your feet. Even if you're on the chair, your feet are hip distance apart. Not the fat part of the hip, but the bony hips right at the hip crease. Let your feet be that far apart. Could be one fist or two fists apart. Bend the knees straight over the second or third toes. Tuck the tail and curl up. Last thing to come up is the head. Mountain pose. The eyes can be softly opened here. Focusing on the first chakra and then all the way up to the third eye point. If the eyes are not comfortable closed, they're just softly opened. Follow your breath from the base of the spine all the way up to the third eye. Squeeze the base of the spine, the perineum. Hold the breath just gently. Keep the face relaxed. And then slowly release. Several times like this. Start at the base of the spine. Follow the breath in and up, tightening the base of the spine muscles, perineal. Hold with a relaxed face. Look to the third eye and then slowly release. Keep going. When you tighten the muscles, the perineal muscles, as if you were stopping the flow of urine, you might feel the inner upper pull all the way to the navel. Keep going. Holding, feel the pulling up. When we tighten that place in Indian Sanskrit, it's called Mula Bandha. You might remember it as the Kegel exercises. Either way, we're focusing with deep concentration. Mula Bandha, maybe even the upward pull into the navel, Uddiyana Bandha. and then release. You might even use this technique for the next exercise, chair pose. So the feet are hip distance, 1 fist or 2 fists, or even closer. Find your footing first. Inhale the arms forward, palms up. Exhale, bend the knees, hips back. Root or pelvis down. If your back is sensitive, your lower back, you could squeeze your knees. Squeeze the Mala Bandha. That pulls up and engages the core. Relax the face. 2 opposing forces. My body is no burden, you might say to yourself. Every time you breathe in and up, squeeze the Mala Bandha or the Kegel, if you rather think of it that way. Soften the face, Mona Lisa smile or more. The body, my body, is no burden. Hips back, pelvis down. With or without squeezing the knees, but definitely squeezing the Mala Bandha, the perineal muscles. To come out of the pose, you could bring your hands down, tuck the tail and curl up, or come up with a flat back. You might even feel like stretching. Full body stretch. You might feel like a gentle back bend here. Take your time. The next posture is tree. You can use a chair or a wall. Rock foot to foot. If you don't prefer tree, if you prefer palm tree, this is what palm tree looks like. It's a balancing challenge, whether you're on 2 feet or 1. I'll demonstrate tree. Mountain pose first. Grounded, centered. Shift your weight to the right leg if you're doing tree. Try not to sink in the right hip, open the left knee. Fix the gaze. Can you feel the tone? When you tighten the Mala Bandha, that might help. Glide the left foot up, below the knee or above. Maybe you're holding on with 1 finger to the chair or the counter or the wall. Standing big toe, roots down to protect the knee. Let the body wobble, but keep the gaze steady. Slowly release. We'll try the other side. If you did tree, if you preferred palm tree, you'll do that again maybe. Shifting your weight to the left leg without sinking in the left hip. Open the right knee. Fix your gaze. Take any adjustments that you need. Calm and poised. I am calm. Take your time returning. to mountain pose. Close the eyes and offer the energy up. Completely surrendering to this moment in time. Nothing else really matters but this moment. From here, we'll come into Warrior Two. Stepping out as wide as comfortable for you. Pivoting the left foot 90 degrees, the right toes could stay straight ahead or in a little. The hips want to turn to the left. Don't never force, but try to keep the chest straight ahead. Bend the left knee, make sure it doesn't roll in or out. I always look down. If I can see my toes, my left big toe especially, I know my knee is in position. I have to think about it though. Concentrate. The lower chakras govern the legs, hips, lower body, lower physical body. The energy comes from the first three chakras. The fire is burning from red to orange to yellow. There's a little tone at the belly, the lower belly, holding the sacrum and lumbar in place. Palms are up to remind the shoulders to stay relaxed, the heart open. Breathe here. There's a lot going on. Every time we come to yoga, it feels different. To come out of the pose, the arms could float down, 10 toes forward. Rest, receive. And then pivot the feet to the opposite direction. One side is always different. Take your time. Softening the right knee only as much as comfortable and only as much that you can keep it from rolling in or out. Floating the arms out. Keep that straight central channel. There's tone at the lower belly, holding the sacrum and lumbar in position. Breath is still coming and going. Palms are up to remind the shoulders to stay relaxed. Focusing on the sacral center, the second chakra. Whether you choose to turn your head one way or the other, keep coming back to the central channel, from the root to the spiritual eye, looking in to know what you might need to change or alter. Maybe your thoughts. Alive. The Mona Lisa smile could come and go. To come out, you'll straighten the front leg, float the arms down, 10 toes straight ahead. You can look at your toes to see that they're all in line with each other. Hands to the hips, preparing to rest the sacrum. A forward fold. You might do a back bend to start, gentle, and then lead with the heart and come halfway down. You could slide the hands down the back of the legs, relaxing the sacrum. Folding further if you want, if your fingertips come to the floor, a chair or a block, it's up to you. You're resting the sacrum, relaxing. You would only float the head down if your body is asking for that. If you're near the seat of a chair, you could rest your skull on the chair. If the chair is too low, stack your fists. Wherever you are is right where you're supposed to be. Resting the sacrum. Each breath that goes by, you'll notice different things about your own physical, spiritual, mental forms. Just recognize, allow, investigate gently with curiosity. To come out, if you were folded forward, you'll come to the halfway point and then soften the knees. Creep the feet closer and closer towards each other. And then depending on you, coming up with a flat back or curling up. It depends on you and your form. Hands land on the heart and we rest. From here, you could step your feet closer together. Even the big toe knuckles could touch. We'll lock the thumbs together. Reach the arms up. The two legs become strong like one. And then we lean to the side, pulling the thumbs away from each other. Tuck the tail. Feel that side bend. Coming through middle and spilling to the opposite side. Take your time here. When the thumbs are locked versus clasped hands, it gives us more space in the neck. Squeezing from the hips all the way down. Keeps us in alignment. When you come back to middle this time, you might feel like leaning back a little. Take your time here, and eventually you'll come right back to heart center. From here, we'll come to the floor. You could sit on a blanket. We're going to come into upward boat. Heart opener, core strengthener. You could start with bent knees. You could have a strap near you. So we did this last week. Everybody's postures look different for different reasons. Just flex the spine a little, back and forth. Thinking about the heart center. We already came into this place. When we did the cats and cows, we could feel it low, but now we're thinking about deep concentration at the heart. The next time the collarbones lift, stay here. You can hold on lightly behind the knees, lean back, and you'll feel your core the lower chakras. You could let go with palms up. The heart is open wherever you are. Breathe here. Some people enjoy the breath of fire here. So it's a forceful exhale. You don't even think about the inhale. Hold on when you need to. Lift up. You could bring the soles of the feet together and come into a gentle forward fold. Let's do that a couple of more times. And you might even modify. So we come from this place first, lifting the collarbones. Lean back to where you feel it in the belly. You might stay right here like we did in the beginning. Or maybe you find a balancing point between tail and sacrum. Lift the heart wherever you are. You could use the breath of fire. Hold on when you need to. Soles of the feet together. Tall first, and then maybe a gentle forward fold without force. One more upward boat. Wherever you are is right where you're supposed to be. So some people, but not me, I'll demonstrate it, find the balancing point, straighten their legs, straighten their arms, open their heart. I prefer to be here, and you'll choose which place you want to be. Find it, tone the core, open the heart. Breath of fire possibly. Come out safely, mindfully. Breathing. Forward fold if you like it. From here, we'll come to a comfortable seat, whatever it is for you. It could be cross-legged or hero. I cushion my ankles in hero over the edge of the blanket. Even while transitioning to a comfortable seat, can you stay with your breath, your body, and the energy shift? Bring your attention to the heart center. From here, we'll silently chant Om 100 times. I'll keep track. Continue silently chanting as you tip your chin up, letting the head drop back, Silently chanting Om, 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 Om. Lower the chin. Noticing whatever you feel. Our attention is between the heart, the throat, and the third eye point. The syllable Om is connected to the spiritual eye. The vibration, if we did it out loud, but even silently, moves from the throat to the heart to the third eye, everything in between. Whether you're on the floor or on a chair, you can cushion your knees if this is possible, the standing kneeling position, which isn't possible for some. We're going to come into camel. So if you're on a chair, you sit forward on the chair. If you're on the floor, cushion your knees, make sure you're comfortable. Use your hands, either fingers up to the side or fists, press down and out at the lower back. Keep the hips over the knees. If you're in the standing kneeling position, don't do anything I say if it hurts. If you're on a chair, push down and out, rainbow, the heart open, the throat. Drop the head back, but leave space at the back of the neck for the energy to circulate. Some people can drop the head completely back, pushing down and out at the hips. Some people can bring their fingertips to the top of their heels. We challenge ourselves without hurting ourselves. To come out, you would lean to one side or the other and slowly, very slowly, come into the opposite child pose. Resting your head, splaying your knees if you want. If your forehead is not resting on a surface, you could lick one of your fingers and just bring the wet to the third eye point, bringing our attention there. The spiritual eye looks in. Every time we practice yoga, we move mindfully. Balancing all opposites without force, stress, or strain. From child pose, we're going to come into a seated position for a twist. Could be cross-legged, could be hero, could be staff pose, which I'm going to demonstrate. So staff pose, I'm sitting on the edge of a blanket because now the back is tired for some of us. Find alignment. Legs look straight, but there's a softness to my knees. And you could use a pillow, blanket, or bolster under the knees. Collarbones lift. Find alignment first from tail to third eye point to crown, and then twist gently to one side or the other. The hips stay grounded, but the belly revolves. The heart revolves. The shoulders are resting. The gaze could stay forward. Or maybe you turn your gaze and stretch your eyes behind you. Keep coming back to the central channel like we've been practicing. Keeping the hips solid, heavy. But the central channel is open. Follow your breath from the base of the spine, right up the gentle curve. Slowly unwind. Back to neutral. Finding alignment again. The breath moves up, the energy moves up, and then gently twist to the other side. Keep the hips solid and heavy wherever you are. The belly revolves, the waist, heart. The crown is directly over the tail. See it, feel it. You can move the head, chin over one shoulder, chin over the other. At your own pace, you'll gently return to neutral. You could adjust your seat if you need to or want to. As we transition, come back to the central channel. Reach the crown up, collarbones lift. Gently tip one ear to one shoulder. Here we are, back in the cervical spine, throat chakra. Gentle tip of the ear, side to side. From whatever seat is comfortable for you. The spine is straight, without force. When the collarbones lift, it helps drop our shoulders back and down. You might even imagine the sky blue color again, right at the throat and all the way around to the back of the neck. Back to neutral when you feel balanced. The next posture is an inversion. So we can roll down. You can use a blanket up against a wall. You could use a chair. Some of us really love to come into bridge, half bridge that is. No pillow under the back of the head. Have a block or a firm safu pillow or bolster near you. So the inversion could be hips up on a block. Make sure that that's comfortable. And then the legs straight up. If you prefer to do this with your legs up the wall, you could put a blanket underneath your hips. And if you know and love shoulder stand, you could come into it now. It's up to you. A simple inversion, like the one I'm in with my hips on the block, can sometimes be just right. Resting the hammock of muscles between the hips and using this simple inversion to bring us into the spiritual eye. Eyes can be closed. The legs aren't perfectly straight, but we are inverted purposely to bring our attention into the upper chakras, from the spiritual eye to beyond. Just breathing and receiving the effects of this simple inversion without forcing. From sky blue at the throat to indigo at the third eye point. From the middle of the forehead all the way to the back of the skull and everything in between. Receiving energy from the prana that enters on the breath and our deep concentration to the sixth chakra. Spiraling indigo wheel of energy from the front of the skull all the way to the back and all around. To come out of the pose, the legs would bend. We would slowly, mindfully return to the supine position. The next posture is fish. Fish, if you're in the supine, is a deep heart opener to the throat and rolling onto the back of the head. I'll demonstrate first. My straight legs are strong. I roll onto the back of my head. There's not a lot of weight there. The arms can be underneath the hips, pressing the hips into the wrists, hands. There's hardly any weight on the back of the head. If you prefer to do this in a chair, you can see what I'm doing and the shape of the back. A rainbow from the heart to the throat to the back of the skull. Hardly any weight on the back of the skull. If you want more, you can lift your lower legs. Breathe the breath of fire. Slowly release wherever you are. Rocking the head side to side if it feels good to you. Bending the knees, roll to the side. One more seated posture. We're going to go over a little today. So here's what the fish looked like. Wherever you are, bring your hands behind. Some people can comfortably do reverse namaste. It's not comfortable for me, so I choose to hold my elbows, and you could too. The heart is open, the throat. Our attention is on the crown of the head, even a couple inches higher than the crown. The halo of energy. All the chakras meet, all the colors blend. It's opalescent. When you inhale, the halo spins a little faster. When you exhale, the halo or the energy within it engulfs the body like a cocoon. Take your time, releasing the hands behind the back and very slowly moving into relaxation. Relaxation could be done in the chair, but if you're on the floor, you could bring the soles of your feet together, Coming into hammock, seeing that the head is in line with the spine, and then rolling down the rest of the way. Straightening the legs one at a time. If the legs straight out are not comfortable for you as you scan the body, you could always bend the knees. Let the knees fall together. Everyone's relaxation posture is different from each other and maybe week to week. Take your time. If laying on your back is no good, you could lay on your side, supporting your head possibly. You could even lay on your belly if that's what you prefer. Take your time here. Wherever you are, scan the body. One end to the other, inside to outside. Resting the physical body in hopes that the mind will follow. I'll read you a short meditation. I am alive. Each thought that I think has life and energy. Each movement I make is part of a sea of movement. There is nothing dead in the universe. When I block my own flow of energy by downcast, negative thinking, the world appears wooden and lifeless. When I tune out of life rather than into it, I lose my connection to what it means to be alive. I see life as a burden rather than a gift. All it takes for me to feel good about being alive is tuning in and accepting that I am part of a living universe. When I let myself be nurtured by the abundance of this world, I learn to live with an open rather than a closed hand, to live generously, to love freely. I am life itself. Take your time, inviting gentle movements back into your form. There might be another yoga posture left in you or a full body stretch. Come back the way you like to. Transitioning with deep concentration back to the central channel, back to the energy centers. Once you're in a seated posture, if it's comfortable, you'll keep your eyes closed for just another breath or two. palms together at the heart center. Thumbs to the third eye point. Breathe in enough. Exhale, bow to yourself first.